Tete is a spokesperson for residents of La who have been continually protesting and demanding that the hospital is constructed to serve the needs of people in that enclave. Mr. Tete, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. It's coming to light now that the money that was supposed to be used for your hospital has not come, and that is why the project has stalled all these years since the building was reduced to rubble. But there appears to be some hope in the offing, according to what the majority leader is saying. Does that cool your hearts?
Good evening to your cherished listeners. We have heard the statement made by the majority leader in parliament, and like your question goes, does that cool our hearts? My brother, this has rather sent our hearts boiling today. All this while, the majority leader has been quiet. Today he has found his voice. And let me put this thing simple. Now, it is not now that they got to know that the sponsors, those who are bringing in the money for the construction, have not been able to do that. Look, there has not been any facility right from the beginning before they came to demolish the hospital. And I'll tell you this for a fact. Now, last year, my group, I speak for the Coalition of La Association, we sat before the minister after we had written several letters to him, and then at his invitation, we went to his office. And the minister was clear enough to tell us that the consortium that was put together to raise the money, which included Swiss Credit and then Standard Chartered Bank, one of the members of the consortium had gone bankrupt, and that they were not able to even raise the money right from the onset. So the 68 million euros, they spoke about that they had secured, and based on which they demolished the old structure, wasn't there in the first place. So I can tell you on authority that the minister, the government lied to the people of La, and then they managed to get away with it. Now, I have fought myself not to play into the politics of this whole thing, but looking at where things are going, I think we, the people of La, will now have to come out and explain to the public what actually happened. Now, predominantly, La Dadekutupo had voted for the NDC, predominantly. So after 2020, the NDC had won 5 out of the 7 elections that were held previously. Now, the government of the day at that time needed to get Dadekutupo on board on their side. So what they did was to look for something which they could use to woo the people on their side. They saw nothing except the very thing that bordered on life and death, the General Hospital. And they thought that if they demolished the hospital, they were going and said they were going to build it, they were going to get the backing of the people. So they brought a very nice design. And anybody who saw that edifice, that design, will definitely clap for government that, yes, if government is bringing this to us, why not? And so that's what they brought to us. Now, on the day of the sword cutting, 10th of August, 2020, the fanfare made some of us start raising eyebrows and asking questions because they have painted the entire place with posters of the then presidential candidate, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, and then the parliamentary candidate. And that was when we started realizing that, no, this, after all, may not be something they were going to do to help the people of La, but probably for their own personal, political interest. Lo and behold, today, as we see, that is what it has turned out to be. Now, there have been promises upon promises after the demolition, every now and then. And if you go onto the net, you are going to get these promises. One government official after the other will come and tell you that we are going to start the construction of the General Hospital soon. I remember the minister at the point said that they were working on some insurance issues. That is why the commencement has stalled. At the point, he said they were doing some soil testing, which anybody who knows construction knows is the first thing that is even done before you even start looking for money. Now, when they tell us all these cock and bull stories, our people sat back and listened to them because they knew that government was supposed to be the one bringing development. But my problem, or our problem, is that come out clear and tell the people the truth. That, look, we told you something, we have failed in that regard, and we are going to find solutions to it. Rather than continue giving them promises that will continue failing. Now, I need to say this thing for people to now get the picture. Look at the situation. Hospital has been demolished 3.5 years. People are dying on a daily basis. Okay. Government took money to sink a hole in the name of National Cathedral to the glory of God. Whilst people are dying, do you think God in heaven will even forgive you? Or are you expecting any blessing from God if you do this to your people who you are supposed to be working for? In the name of National Cathedral, people are dying. Do you think God will even forgive you? I have heard a sitting member of parliament say that he's going to embark on Occupy the health ministry. I will be the first person to jump on that bandwagon. But my brother, now, if you ask me what the people of La want to do, the people of La are ready to engage in a self-help project. We want to reconstruct the La General Hospital for ourselves without government support. And it's going to be simple. There are over 90 clan houses in La, which are well established. Assuming, and we have done a survey, and I can tell you on authority that our people are willing to do this. Assuming every clan house is able to supply 1 trip of sand and 1 trip of cement, 1,000 blocks, 100 bags of cement, my brother, look, we will be able to do this thing for ourselves within 2 years. In any case, we have spoken to even Gadama people within the diaspora who are willing to come and help. All we are asking government to do, and we presented this in a petition to the minister a couple of months ago, is that government should just lay its hands off the land and just sit back and look at us. We will be able to do this thing for ourselves because we have seen that government doesn't have the people of La at heart, and government has failed us. In essence, government has failed. But the biggest failure is even the regional minister, Honorable Henry Kwoti, who touts himself as a champion of Gaddafi, who has failed to even lead a government delegation to the chiefs and people of La to come and one apologize and then give them something concrete on which they can feed and know that at least we have somebody who is fighting for us. He has not shown any interest at all, except the promise he made that the project was going to start in November. We have started November. This is the 7th day of November, and I can promise you, my brother, government will not be able to do anything by the end of this year.
Which means you don't trust the promise that has been made you at all. Now, there's a request, or not request, there's a comment that has been made by the Odododiodio MP. He says he's going to invite La people, or they are going to invite La people to occupy the ministries and demand that the hospital is put up unless there's a provision made for the hospital in the budget. Is that something you would be agreeing to do? Because they plan to use you to demonstrate. You also were saying, let us do communal labor and build our own hospital. Which one are you going to do?
Whilst we are waiting on government to say that, okay, we are allowing you to go onto the land and work, and then we will start working. If government has not done that, like I said, I personally, using my group, the Coalition of La Association, we wouldn't wait for the Odododiodio MP to even call us. We are going to even engage him and any other member of parliament, the well-thinking ones. We are going to engage them and see how best we'll be able to do this and occupy the Ministry of Health and let the whole world know what barbaric act government is doing against us. This is more than genocide, because if I tell you the number of people who have died in La as a result of not getting to a healthcare facility on time because of the demolition of the hospital, you will know that this is more than a genocide.
Thank you for speaking to us. That's Jeffrey Tete. He speaks for residents of La.